I had no idea the British press was so bigoted.
This One's Wife. Backlash. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. In other videos, I've explained to you that narcissists have black and white thinking. There are no shades of grey with us. You are either painted white, whereby we think you're amazing, marvellous, everything you touch turns to gold, you're the best thing since sliced bread, you're elegant, fashionable, hilarious, interesting. We see you as our saviour. We see you as a wonderful human being that we love being around, that we want to spend lots of time with. Or you're painted black. You are a despicable, traitorous individual who has ruined our life, that you have made our lives an absolute misery, that you torture us on a daily basis, that you're unpleasant, that you smell, that you're ugly, that you're incompetent, that you're useless. This black and white thinking propels the narcissist through the extremes. To be lukewarm about somebody is no good. That doesn't allow the narcissist to gain control. It won't motivate the narcissist to get that all-important fuel. Our narcissism causes us to see the world, when it comes to people, painted black or painted white, in order to elicit an appropriate strong response so that we are then motivated to ensure that we gain that control that's so important, to gain that fuel that is our lifeblood, to compel us to pursue the character traits and residual benefits. If we were to sit there and go, meh, about somebody, that's no good. We need to be either completely for them or completely against them. And of course, as you know, we vacillate between those positions regularly. At 9 a.m, you can be painted white. By 9:30, you're painted black. By 10 a.m, you're painted white again. Back and forth, back and forth. Like a weather vane in a very strong storm, we twist this way and that way, moving between seeing you painted white and painted black. The narcissist doesn't see anything wrong with that behavior. Most narcissists don't see that they engage that way. And if you were to point it out to them, they'd deny it, because the narcissist would tell them that they don't do that. Where they recognize such behavior, they'll explain it away. Well, you upset me, so what was I supposed to do? Just take it? No wonder I lashed out at you. You said something horrible to me. Naturally, so is your fault. And interestingly, this one's wife, naturally, she sees the world through the lens of painting people black and painting people white, but also she's created quite the response in individuals who aren't narcissists to see her through also a lens of being painted white or being painted black, which is quite some achievement. She has a small rump of supporters to whom she can do no wrong, that she is always this fragrant, hard-done-to, wonderful person of colour, their queen. They can't see the behaviour and evidence that demonstrates her narcissism. They just explain it away as being as a consequence of the fact that she's been picked on, that she's the victim of racism, that Kate and William are the horrible individuals, that the royal family is an awful racist institution that didn't welcome her with open arms. No, no, no. All they ever did was make life difficult for her. Some of you may have attempted to correct this skewed vision of the group known as the Sugars and learn to your cost that you might as well try and nail jelly to a wall. They are not for listening because they lack the critical thinking that is required, and they have an entrenched jaundice view. Thus, there is a group that views her painted white. There, of course, have been some individuals that have shifted their view over time, but there remains a group that just will not countenance any suggestion that there's anything wrong with her. And then there is a larger group that sees everything that she does through the lens of being painted black, that no matter what she attempts to do, no matter how wholesome she tries to behave, no matter how empathic she tries to conduct herself, no matter how she engages in certain charitable works, that she turns up and glad hands people and smiles, etc., that she says the right things, that she appears to take an interest in what the charity is doing, there is a large group of individuals that are completely unswayed by this behaviour and will always see it through the lens of her, in effect, being painted black. Namely, they see it as just another instance of self-promotion. They see it as just another instance of her finding the camera. They see it as another instance of her trying to merchandise matters. That she's not given the benefit of the doubt that every single thing that she does becomes interpreted through essentially being seen through a lens of being painted black. So there's quite an irony, really, that an individual who is a narcissist who sees the world through being painted white or black has created, as a consequence of her own behaviour, a smaller group that sees her painted white and a larger group that sees her through the lens of being painted black. And an example of the way that she is viewed, no matter what she does. And it isn't the case, of course, that this is just blind prejudice against her. That's something, of course, that the Sugars would allege. But the reason that people see her through this dim view of her behaviour is based upon what? Her previous behaviour. They've seen the way that she has behaved, they've looked at the evidence, and they realise that she is a narcissist, and therefore everything that she does when it comes to other people is related to the pursuit of the prime aims. It isn't because she's empathic, it's because she needs the prime aims. It isn't because she cares, it's because she needs the prime aims. It isn't because she's actually interested because she's interested, it's because it's in pursuit of the prime aims. She's there managing the facade, asserting control, drawing fuel. That's what drives her to do it. Now, of course, a narcissist can do good things. For instance, your glorious narrator is a living, breathing example of that, whereby I provide you with brilliant information about narcissism and psychopathy to help you understand and achieve freedom. I do some things which many people would also label as terrible, awful, and would describe them as evil. But I am capable of acts that create good. But as you know, it's only done because it serves my purposes. Now, some will say, I don't really care what HG's motivation is. His work has enabled me to escape the narcissist. I'm forever indebted to him. And that is an understandable attitude. This one's wife can create good through the things that she does. But of course, we know that the motivation behind all of that is the prime aims. She needs to control people, draw fuel from them, grab those character traits to bang onto the construct, and she needs to be in a position to gain those residual benefits. And this shows, again, how her activities are viewed in that way, resulting in backlash. As I've reported earlier, poor old Texas is going to have to suffer a tsunami of industrial word salad from her, and most people don't like her. And this is summed up neatly in an article from Parade.com by Michelle Stein that tells us this one's wife faces intense backlash after XSSW appearance announcement. As health issues continue to plague senior members of the British royal family, a bit of positive news recently shined through. This one's wife will serve as a keynote speaker for the 2024 SXSW conference, or at least it was good news until the online backlash occurred. On Monday, March the 4th, South by Southwest, a conference held each year in Austin, Texas, focusing on film, music, tech, education and more, revealed the Duchess of Sussex as one of its featured speakers. Announcing our final keynote session for the 2024 South by Southwest conference, the official Instagram account shared. On March 8th, International Women's Day, join this one's wife, the Duchess of Sussex, Katie Couric, Brooke Shields, Nancy Wen, and Erin Haynes for a conversation on breaking barriers, challenging stereotypes, and working towards a healthier society on and off our screens. That appeared on Instagram, and the snapshot that's provided from SXXW and eMarvelous's sites has 6,642 likes. But in the comments, many Instagram users were less than thrilled about this one's wife appearing at the conference. One person wrote, "Why? This one's wife contributes nothing but empty words." Another one declared, "Grifter, it's a pass for me." Another person snarked, Will she discuss how she is a narcissist? No, that wasn't me. Meanwhile, someone else commented, "What a joke." And another predicted, "LOL, vapid blather guaranteed." Thus, just a small selection of the reactions that come from this announcement demonstrating the backlash that as soon as she is announced, and it's done on social media, you get these comments. With other individuals, you might get some people who say, "No, I'm not interested." But this one's wife provokes such a response as a consequence of her behaviour that she has caused so many people to look upon her and think, no, she just talks nonsense, she's in it for herself, she's a grifter, we're just going to be subjected to a load of word salad, and people are motivated to want to express that. It, of course, is useful fuel for her, tertiary sources reacting to what she has to say, but it's challenge fuel because it's a criticism. And, of course, in the world of this one's wife, criticism equates to being offensive. She is amongst that group of people that doesn't understand that criticism is a legitimate form of expression, and with her, in particular, it has its basis in evidence. But there is a group of people, those that seek to prevent you from exercising free speech by labelling so many things as offensive when they're not. You express a form of humour which ridicules somebody, that is deemed to be offensive. You offer an opinion which is contrary to theirs, that is deemed to be offensive. You express a view that is based upon certain information that they don't subscribe to, you're deemed to be offensive. Where you criticise, not in an ad hominem way, but legitimately by reference to the evidence, that is deemed offensive. And individuals, such as this one's wife, seek to shut you down by labelling you as offensive when you're not. Offence should be caused. Offence should be allowed, because it's a form of expression. And there are those that cause offence by their very behaviour, such as this one's wife, resulting in the comments that I've just described there, that deserve the backlash because their own behaviour is offensive. But the way that they try and nullify such criticism of that behaviour is to say, you're not allowed to say that about me because that's offensive, you need to be cancelled, you're a hater. Too much of the world has gone down that route. And this has been generated by individuals such as this one's wife, the narcissist that is unable to accept that criticism because it threatens control and thus labels it as offence. And then those individuals get themselves into a position of power and they start to prescribe what you and I are allowed to say. And where once upon a time you were able to express yourself, all of a sudden you find yourself with a small but vociferous group labelling you as offensive. This one's wife causes offence through her behaviour. She invites criticism through her behaviour. And yet, as we've just seen, it will continue to be the case as a consequence of what she does. But she will also look to shut those individuals down. But she will never succeed, because for all of the effort that she makes to continue to be seen and heard on the world stage, there are millions upon millions of people who simply don't like her, and each time they create that backlash. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.